Greetings and welcome to the Introduction to Astronomy. In this week's Astronomy of Other Cultures, we are going to continue our work on Muslim astronomy and talk about the astronomer Jabir bin Aflah and look at his contributions to our understanding of astronomy. So let's go ahead and get started. So Jabir ibn Aflah lived from about 1100 to 1150. And he did work on astronomy and mathematics in Seville. And one of the things that he worked on was developing a device called a torquetum. And this is a device, it's essentially a computer. Now, not a digital computer as we have today, but many things built back then would be an analog computer. So a way to be able to convert between coordinate systems. So yes, you could sit down and do all the calculations needed to convert between coordinate systems, but you could also use a device like this that would allow you to convert those coordinates in a much simpler manner. And this is one of the things that he was credited with developing. Now, in terms of astronomy, he wrote the Isla al-Majesti, which is a correction of the Almagest. So the Almagest, the great work of Ptolemy, about 1,000 years before this, well, now we're getting more corrections to it, and we've talked about that before. There were specific problems that people had with things like the eccentrics and the epicycles, and those are shown here in the diagram. We can see the eccentric there on the other side of the center from the Earth, and we can see the epicycle, the small circle that the other planet appears to go around as that epicycle goes around the center of the solar system. Another book that he wrote was the Kitab al-Hayya, which was a book of astronomy, and this used spherical trigonometry. So, not plane trigonometry. We're used to Euclidean geometry and trigonometry, which is what we normally use. But in the sky, we don't have a flat plane. Everything is a sphere. So you need to use spherical trigonometry, which is a little bit different. But this now allows us to improve the mathematical accuracy of our work. And that, of course, was a great help. And really, he was responsible for bringing spherical trigonometry to the West, as we will see that later on, as that begins to be incorporated into works of Europe and the West as the Renaissance starts to approach in a few hundred years here. So let's go ahead and finish up what we've looked at today with our summary. And what we've talked about is Jabir ibn Aflah lived from about 1100 to 1150, specifically known for work in astronomy and mathematics, and most importantly, really, using spherical trigonometry to improve the accuracy of the calculations that were done. So that concludes this discussion on Jabir ibn Aflah. We'll be back again next week to talk about another astronomer of the Muslim world. So until then, have a great day, everyone, and I will see you in class.